Hello, fabulous friends and fans. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah, and welcome to this special series on the North Node in an astrology chart. And this video is on the North Node in the sign of Libra or in the 7th house in an astrology chart. Now, the idea for these videos came from friends and fans just like yourself who reached out to me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and my website, nadiyashah.com. And I thank you so much for your interactions, your suggestions, for reaching out. I'm truly so grateful for it. And so please do watch the overview video that I did for the North Node, because that's going to more deeply help you to understand more deeply the symbol of the North Node. But for this video with the North Node in the 7th house or in Libra, well, it would sound on the surface like quite a fun placement to have. It's about relationships, of course. It's about one-on-one interactions. If you think about the 7th house, the descendant, is exactly opposite the ascendant. The ascendant represents what you are projecting. It's your rising sign. It represents your immediate first impression you make when you meet somebody and what you are putting out into the world. It's the energy that you emit, the most immediate energy you emit into the world. The descendant represents what you attract back to you based on what's happening with that ascendant and what you're projecting out. So if you have your North Node in the 7th house, then chances are the people who are drawn to you, I really believe that all of our relationships, all of our connections have a very strong karmic purpose to them, that there is no relationship or interaction that ever occurs that doesn't hold the promise of, in some way, moving us towards greater love and greater wisdom, which I believe is the purpose of life and the purpose that we're all here to more step into that energy more fully. With the North Node here, now depending on how that North Node is aspected, any planets that might be in that near that North Node, it will determine the types of people who ultimately are attracted to you. But really, with the North Node in the 7th house, your interactions, especially your one-on-one relationships, your business partnerships, and your relationships like your marriages or your love relationships, where you actually are making a commitment to this other person, it is very fated. It is very much written. And really, I think whenever a transiting planet comes along and conjuncts the North Node, it tends to be a time when we attract new people into our sphere. This becomes especially true with a 7th house North Node. But what I really find about this, look, it's been said that it's all written, especially where it comes to major commitments. And I think about this idea of how I am very much of the belief that if you actually sign a contract with somebody, like a agreement of a partnership, then chances are that this is not the first time you've actually done that with this other soul over the trajectory of your soul development. I do believe very much that those contracts we make, that we write down, have very strong spiritual significances to them. And because we are now older souls than we ever were before, we are meeting the same people again and again so we can learn what it is that we need to. So when you are actually in the type of agreement with the North Node in the 7th house, you're going to be asked to make those agreements with people, to get into agreements with people that have to do with business partnerships or marriages, that have to do with having to consider another perspective as equal as yourself. And that can come with a lot of learning that isn't just about the business, but also a tremendous amount of learning that happens on a level of spirit as well, on a level of your spiritual growth and spiritual lessons. Now, wherever the North Node is, we tend to manifest the higher end of that energy as represented in the sign. Wherever the South Node is, we tend to manifest the lower end of that energy, and it's energy that we're moving away from. So with the North Node in the 7th house in the sign of Libra, well, particularly in the sign of Libra, it's all about cultivating the skills and understanding the value of doing whatever it is you do with somebody else, with having that support there, with having a sounding board there. It's about understanding the value and what good can come when you allow yourself to see different perspectives, when you allow yourself to be diplomatic and a little bit more gentle in your approach. With the South Node in Aries, you are moving away from really being a law unto yourself. You're moving away from an understanding that you are all that matters and you are it, and your most immediate passion is the thing that it's all about, that life is all about, and going towards a level of understanding before you act, going towards a level of taking into account all the various perspectives before it is that you actually take action. Now, some cases, this is awesome. This is a really good thing. In fact, I would say in a lot of cases, this is a really good thing. Sometimes it takes really having to stretch yourself. Sometimes it takes a lot of skill and a lot of commitment to say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to stop and I'm going to take a breath before I take action. I'm going to just wait a moment and I'm going to ask somebody before I do something that I feel like I really, really got to do, and especially when you think that that action could be taken as aggression. With Libra energy is also very connected to this whole idea of an enlightened understanding of beauty. And it has to do with, as Socrates called it, and as I spoke about in the Taurus, the North Node in Taurus and the second house video. With Taurus, it's about, Socrates spoke about the difference between earthly Aphrodite and celestial Aphrodite. I think of Taurus as being covered by earthly Aphrodite because Venus does rule Taurus and the sign of Libra, and Libra as being covered under celestial Aphrodite, as Socrates called it. And celestial Aphrodite has to do with understanding beauty in its highest forms, the beauty of ideas, of philosophies, of architectures, understanding what is going to be beautiful for you, what is the essence of beauty, and embracing that. And so it's about moving away from a more immediate appreciation, if you will, and instead moving towards an understanding of beauty that is based on ideas of your own choosing, based on more enlightened concepts. With the North Node in your 7th house, your South Node will be in the 1st house. And this is about moving away from an understanding that is just about you, or thinking that life is just about you and what matters to you and what's important to you, and instead moving towards sharing and cooperation. Moving towards an understanding because you know on a soul level that it's good for you to learn how to get along with somebody else, how to consider their feelings, and how to consider their perspective on the world. And from that, finding a happy medium allows you not only to move towards greater love with that person, but also in a more universal sense as well. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you have an idea of a video that you would like to see, something astrologically speaking you would like to see me discuss, or philosophically speaking, please do reach out. Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and my website, nadiyashah.com. I thank you so much for this moment with you. Until we connect again, take care. Thank you for watching. It'll be a great month. Be fabulous and enjoy.